The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices, and that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
Well, we have a great clip for us to all drill into today, because with the endless flurry of declarations and proclamations and decrees, today's cool clip is a much-needed moment of serious mockery from Representative Sean Casten from the not-to-be-messed-with state of Illinois, who comedically killed on the floor of Congress yesterday with the most satirical takedown of Trump and his aforementioned national energy emergency. I mean, it's so good, one wonders if his boss, Mike Johnson, must be spending extra time at church today praying this video doesn't go viral. Well, that and his son can suppress their porn-scrolling impulses.
My accountability partner right now is Jack, my son, right? And so he's 17. So he and I get a report of all the things that are on our phones or all of our devices once a week. If anything objectionable comes up, your accountability partner gets an immediate notice. I'm proud to tell you my son he's got a clean slate.
So today's stimulating clip, it's coming up next. It's from Illinois Representative Sean Casten, who's no stranger to rubbing Mike Johnson the wrong way. It seems to be taking on a life of its own. This is what Casten tweeted upon Johnson's rise to Speaker of the House. Today is a sad day for any American concerned about protecting the sanctity of our democracy and preserving the rights of women to have autonomy over their own bodies. On January 6th, after watching a mob storm the United States Capitol, a majority of the House Republican Conference tried to finish the job. Mike Johnson didn't just vote to overturn the results of a free and fair election. He was the chief architect of the legal framework that his colleagues said empowered them to do so. Mike Johnson not only supports banning abortion without exception, including in cases of rape or incest, he believes in the criminalization of abortion. In the wake of the Dobbs decision, he proudly supported efforts in his home state of Louisiana to imprison doctors who performed abortions. This is to say nothing of his work to cut Social Security and Medicare, or the fact that before he came to Congress, he built a career around stripping basic civil rights and civil liberties from the LGBTQ+ community in Louisiana. Mike Johnson's disregard for the American democracy is disqualifying. His support for extremist policies is appalling. The American people deserve better. Well, no words minced there. And yesterday, the American people got something better, and then some. This clip is so great because it's Casten's irreverence that could cause congressional fits, because courageous hypocrisy mocking, that is kryptonite to tyrants. Well, as was mentioned by a comment online, someone buy this man a beer.
Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, step right up and prepare to be amazed. This is an ordinary folder. As you can see, no hidden compartments, and yet inside, it's an invisible rabbit. If you like that trick, you are going to love Donald Trump's national energy emergency. It's also totally imaginary, but as any good carnival barker will tell you, there's a sucker born every minute who falls for the shtick. Let's review the numbers. Under the Biden administration, U.S. created 16 million jobs, had the fastest growing economy in the OECD, held oil demand flat, drastically cut coal use, embraced cleaner, cheaper renewables and efficiency. We decoupled economic growth from fossil fuel, giving American people more heat, more light, more power, more money. That put downward pressure on domestic oil and gas prices, which caused domestic fossil producers to export into less developed, more remunerative overseas markets. Now, before you say, there's no emergency here, consider this from the perspective of our poor oil and gas producers. They're losing market share. They're making less money, but they got an ally in Donald Trump. After all, he's the guy who forced the Saudis to curtail production in 2020 to drive up oil prices and oil industry profits. That's right. He made sure U.S. consumers paid more for gasoline. Ta-da! Don't be a sucker, but if you are, I am available for parties and I can solve all your invisible rabbit problems. You can keep hopping, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back.
So as fear and frustration grows across the country, especially for the 74.4 million people who voted against Trump, there's your mandate. Well, starting today, we need the Sean Castens, the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortezes, the Martin O'Malleys, and the new DNC Vice Chair, Malcolm Kenyatta.
Now, there are folks who have written their obituaries of the Democratic Party. But I didn't come all the way to National Harbor for a funeral. I came for a revival.
So it's up to these duly elected and courageous leaders to lead the charge moving ahead into the breach of the great white Leviathan.